And so that is the very latest from downtown Orlando, confirmed that 2 are dead, 6 injured in a shooting that took place at 107 this morning.
Absolutely. So we're talking about the area of Orange and Washington. We do know that the suspect, just 17 years old, that he was not downtown very long before he started shooting. The interesting part, and perhaps more disturbing part about all of this, is he walked right past several officers. Apparently, you know, with that gun and knowing apparently what he was going to do. And so they're going to continue to investigate that. Between 50 and 100,000 people may have been downtown last night to celebrate Halloween when this tragedy happened. So we'll stay on top of this story for you, bring you the very latest. That was Orlando Police Chief Eric Smith giving us an update as it stands right now on what happened last night in downtown.
Over 100 police officers down there. We're going to get to Marley Capper and check in with her. She's one of our reporters on the scene. Marley, we just got the latest. Obviously, this is what police feared. Even with 100 officers down there, we did see this shooting take place.
Good morning to both of you. We just have that confirmed that there's 8 victims total. 2 have died. 6 are in stable condition at ORMC. It's quiet behind me right now, but we have video. You can see the thousands of people running right down through here, just trying to hide, take shelter, running for their lives. I'll step out so you guys can still see. There's still an active scene. It's definitely calmed down a lot since we first got here around 2 this morning. Like you mentioned, the chief says that the 17-year-old victim had parked his car downtown. He walked out near Orange and Washington and began shooting. The chief showed us video during that press conference of police officers taking the suspect in a yellow shirt down. They did that pretty quickly. The chief said it's been about 2 years since they've had a shooting quite like this. So he says the officers responded very quickly. Now we've seen evidence markers, crime scene tape, officers looking for evidence. The crime scene unit is here. Orange is blocked off from Robertson to Church Street. So it's a very large area that has been blocked off this morning. Like I mentioned, we were here around 2 this morning and people were still walking around in their Halloween costumes. Some people have been searching for their cars for hours because they can't get to them because of how many streets are blocked off. Here's what one guy that we talked to had to say.
Okay, we were in a club and we heard gunshots. Bop, 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 bop. That's all I heard. And then everybody started running. That's all the security was like, run, 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 run.
Definitely a very scary way to end Halloween celebrations. Now, I spoke to another woman who was getting to her car. It was around 3:30, and I asked her, you know, what took you so long to get to your car? She said it was blocked off. She told me that she was on the balcony of a bar when she heard those shots being fired, and then, of course, she saw everybody running for their lives. She said that some clubs had locked their doors with everybody inside, and that some clubs were kicking people out. Like I mentioned, she didn't get to her car till pretty late. She said it was very scary, a terrifying way to end Halloween celebrations. I also talked to 2 bartenders who told me that they had to hide behind the bars. Very terrifying. So now we have learned, again, if you're just tuning in, that there are 8 victims that we know of right now. 2 have died. 6 are in critical condition at ORMC. But for now, reporting live in Orlando, Marley Capper, Fox 35 News.
All right, Marley, what a tragedy. Our live team coverage continues this morning.
Amanda McKenzie is also live in downtown Orlando. Amanda, so far, what have you seen in that area?
Well, we're live inside of the Orlando Police headquarters where that news conference just wrapped up, and you can see on the screen behind me just how packed Orlando was last night for Halloween celebrations. An estimated 50 to 100,000 people and about 100 officers working detail in that large crowd. Officers did witness the shooting, and they were able to get that 17-year-old suspect into custody within moments. They are going to be releasing body camera video of the event as it unfolded later this morning. We are told a total of 8 victims, 2 dead, 6 at ORMC in stable condition. The victims ranging in age from 19 to 39 years old. It is unknown if those victims were known to that shooting suspect. This is all part of their active and ongoing investigation at this time. The state attorney was also present here this morning. He tells us that he got the call about this mass shooting at 2:30 this morning, and that's when he put on his own tactical gear with a bulletproof vest and was armed with his own handgun. He spoke before us just moments ago talking about how they are going to be looking at all of the other aggravating factors when determining how to charge this 17-year-old suspect who has a known criminal record from dating back to last year. So that's going to be another element. They haven't decided yet if they plan to charge this 17-year-old as an adult or a minor. minor, but right now they say they are leaning toward likely charging him as an adult. But again, a terrifying night for all of those people who witnessed this mass shooting unfold around 1:07 in the morning. A very packed crowd last night. So we're going to continue to bring you the latest and get more information from Orlando police as well as from folks at the scene. Right now, it is unknown if the victims are cooperating, since right now they're just in the middle of all of that recovery at this time. Reporting live in Orlando, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
All right, Amanda. And, some of those victims could have been innocent bystanders, just kind of caught in the crossfire of this. And so we'll stay on top of the story, obviously, all morning long and bring you the very latest.
Let's check in right now with Brooks and see how things are shaping up elsewhere outside this morning. Brooks.
Hi there. Good morning. Well, we've got a pretty mild start to the day today, although a couple of sprinkles are rotating in from the Atlantic. So we may have just a hit or miss drop of rain on the windshield as you head in this morning, especially around Kissimmee and around the I-4 corridor from Champions Gate up through Hunters Creek in Orlando and into the Windermere area over the next few minutes. Coming up in your full forecast, I'm tracking the tropics. We've got a couple of areas of disturbed weather in our backyard that have a potential to develop over the next 5 days, and it may enhance at least our rain chances as we head into late next week. I'll show you that. First off, though, Skyfox traffic time. Deborah Cho is in with the latest.
Good morning, Brooks. Let's take a look at our Lake Mary tower cameras right now, where you can see traffic-wise on I-4, things are moving just fine in the west and eastbound directions. Our downtown Orlando camera is also showing a very similar scene coming eastbound on I-4, and then westbound, no issues to report there. And then your drive times this morning, oops, looks like that one didn't change, but your drive times this morning are all in the green this morning. So if there's any issues, of course, we'll be sure to let you know. I'll send things back to you guys at the desk.
Good Day Orlando is sponsored by the Florida Lottery. Good Day Orlando starts now with breaking news.
And we do continue to follow the breaking news. This is a live look at downtown Orlando. Very different scene than just a few hours ago. We're following that shooting, leaving 8 people shot at least, or 8 victims. We know 2 of those were killed. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody right now. It happened right in front of police. We will continue to bring you updates on this story all morning long. We do have a number of crews downtown. Also developing now, this is a new mugshot for the bail bondsman accused of human trafficking. 75-year-old Russell Moncrief is now sitting in the Orange County Jail without bond. He's accused of demanding sex from female inmates in exchange for bonding them out. Moncrief has multiple locations in Central Florida, including offices in Orange, Osceola, Brevard, and Pinellas counties. The Metropolitan Bureau of Investigation did conduct what was a 3-year investigation featuring firsthand accounts from several alleged victims. An attorney we spoke with said by the nature of what they do, bondsmen hold the power in their relationship with clients who struggle to afford bond.
The bondsman has a lot of power because the bondsman can just, if he thinks you're doing something wrong or there's a legitimate chance you're not going to show up, he can take you off the bond and then you're back in jail.
Moncrief is facing 3 counts of human trafficking, 1 count of racketeering. If convicted, he could spend up to 125 years behind bars. 1 person is dead after an apparent accident at Camping World Stadium. It happens the venue is getting prepared for the Electric Daisy Carnival, or EDC. It's a huge festival featuring elaborate sets and multiple stages, all playing electronic dance music. See, the accident happened yesterday. They say a person died at the hospital after that accident. We've reached out to EDC, their staff, and also police for more information. We're waiting for more details.
5:19 is the time right now. Let's go ahead and turn our attention to our weather. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner standing by with that. Hello.
Good morning, Danielle. Yeah, red tide is very common after a big tropical system and a lot of rain because all of the organics between fertilizers and even gross stuff like sewage gets pushed out into the water, and it's basically like a fertilizer, the nitrates and the phosphates, for that toxic algae. So a lot more red tide is likely ahead for especially the Gulf Coast. 70 degrees right now in downtown Orlando. We've had a couple of sprinkles on radar. Our overall rain chance today running at about 20%. A flow from the east today for the Atlantic, producing a little bit of sprinkle activity near OIA and Hunters Creek over the next hour. This can be expected periodically through the day today on an otherwise partly cloudy and breezy afternoon. 66 right now in Sanford, 64 in the Villages, all the way to 84 in the Villages today. In Palm Bay today, I'm forecasting a high of 84 84 degrees, 84 in Ocala as well. Regionally, if you're traveling today up to Atlanta, highs in the upper 70s with a couple of thunderstorms up that way. New Orleans about 82, Miami 84, low country of South Carolina, Charleston 84 degrees today. Daytona right now is 67. We've got some very rough seas out there, yet again yielding a high risk for rip currents, whether you're in Volusia County or Brevard County at the beaches this afternoon. So a heads up there. Temperatures around 81 degrees by 4 o'clock at Satellite Beach, but make sure you swim near lifeguard if you're going to enter the water. Okay, in the tropics, we've got a 60% chance of development in the Caribbean and a 10% chance in the Southwest Atlantic. In fact, these two disturbances may merge together over the next couple of days, producing a weak diffuse tropical system. System could form this weekend, bringing maybe some rain to our region late week if it tracks west of us, but nothing imminent, and it doesn't look like any kind of huge red flags for our region yet. Now, in the Caribbean, there's a lot of hot water, so plenty of ocean heat content to fuel a developing tropical system, but if it makes it into the Gulf of Mexico, there isn't a lot of available heat content. That is the gasoline for this engine, and so as it enters the Gulf, it will likely weaken if it forms, so that's good. This isn't like July, August, September, where you have really hot Gulf of Mexico water to help maintain the strength or grow a tropical system. So here's the setup. High pressure now looks like it'll be a little bit farther east of us, and that could allow, if a system forms, it to track a little bit closer to Florida, bringing with it some rain late next week. So we'll watch that for you. Here's the latest GFS American model, bringing this impulse north of Dominican Republic and Haiti, and that second impulse around Jamaica, maybe merging into something a little bit broader as far as systems go. But there's a lot of confusion in these models, I'll tell you that. But it looks like by Thursday, at least west of Florida, we could have a disturbance in the Gulf that would enhance our rain chances and also bring some wave action to the Gulf Coast. Well, this weekend we fall back for the end of the daylight saving time. We go from a sunset of 6:40 today to a sunset of just about 5:40 on Sunday. So we're going to lose that hour in the afternoon, but we get an hour extra sleep with the sun rising an hour earlier. All right, so here we go. 7-day forecast. Chance for a couple of isolated storms, or as to say showers, not storms, showers today. Tomorrow, slightly better chance, about a 40% shot for our Saturday. Election day looking pretty decent, and temperatures remaining in the mid-80s. Just about every day, though, chance for a couple of showers. That tropical connection may come our way for Thursday of next week. Well, in today's Snap the Sun, we've got a very nice shot here from Dennis Endeland over Daytona International Speedway. All right, how is it looking right now on the roads? Let's go from the racetrack to I-4.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, sometimes it almost does feel like a racetrack on I-4 for sure. So taking a look this morning at our cameras right in the downtown Orlando area. This is I-4 eastbound, those cars that are coming towards us just as you're passing the downtown metro. So just a heads up this morning, traffic-wise, things are moving this morning. Now, as far as your drive times, we are in the green all the way across the board. Champions Gate to downtown, a 22-minute commute there. 408 westbound, you're looking at a 6-minute commute. And Daytona to Orlando, 39 minutes. Let's take a look, though, at our pump patrol prices. We have 303 at the Mobile. This is on State Road 436 and State Road 434 in Altamont Springs. Head over to our website. It's fox35orlando.com. Okay, Danielle, I'll send things back to you.
Okay, Deb, thanks so much for that. We are continuing to follow the big breaking news coming out of Orange County this morning, where a shooting has happened in downtown Orlando, leaving 8 people shot. At least 2 were killed. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody right now. As we stay on top of this breaking news story and you look at a live picture and video of the scene, you can see it is still fairly active out there as we continue to bring you updates all morning long on this story.
And we do take a look at the numbers for yesterday. It was certainly not a good day on Wall Street. The market's sharply lower, especially the tech-heavy NASDAQ falling about 500 points yesterday. Some disappointing earnings set that up. Also, some very high expectations. That always makes a big difference as well.
At 5:25, before we go to break, we do want to let you know that, again, we continue to follow breaking news coming out of downtown Orlando, where police say shots were fired in the area. Those shots ended up killing 2 people. There are 8 others who are injured there. We do have a crew live at the scene monitoring this investigation as this breaking news story continues. And we'll continue right here on Good Day Orlando right after this short break.
Good Day Orlando is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Good Day Orlando starts now with breaking news.
It was really loud. Everybody was scared. Everybody was running.
Right now at 5:30, crowds running for cover in downtown Orlando on Halloween night. Police investigate a mass shooting. Welcome back to Good Day Orlando. This is the 5:30 half hour. I'm Danielle Knox.
I'm Ryan Elijah. We do want to get you right to the breaking news right now. It's out of Orange County, and joining us live from the scene is Marley Kapper. Marley is downtown. Marley, what do we know right now?
Good morning, you guys. We have confirmed with the Orlando Police Chief that there are 8 victims. 2 have died. 6 are in stable condition at ORMC. It's still a pretty active scene as officers investigate. We're at the corner of Orange and Jefferson, but I'll step out of the way to show you guys. This is packed down here as far as how much is blocked off from Robinson to Church Street. So a large radius of downtown has been blocked off as crime scene units investigate. If we can zoom in down there, we can see evidence markers, crime scene tape, officers looking for evidence. Like I mentioned, lots of streets are blocked off. There's police officers at every corner. Now, when we first got here around 2 a.m., people were still walking around in their Halloween costumes, leaving people to search for their cars for hours. Some of them still can't even get to them because of how many streets were blocked off. Now, earlier, the police chief showed us a video during a press conference of police officers taking the 17-year-old suspect down. He was wearing a yellow shirt, and police say that he was parked close to Orange Street, that he walked onto the street and began shooting. Now, we're still working to learn more about the victims. They age from 19 years old to 39 years old. Here is what one of the people who were trying to escape the scene had to say.
Multiple gunshots, firing. It was really loud. Everybody was scared. Everybody was running in multiple directions. Nobody knew what was going on until people were either saying to stay indoors or to get out. Certain clubs were kicking people out. Certain clubs were locking everyone in.
She says it was scary and a terrifying end to Halloween celebrations. She told me she was on a balcony when she heard the shots being fired. Now, I did talk to a lot of people this morning. We talked to 2 bartenders. One of them said they had to hide underneath the bar when everything happened. If you're just tuning in, again, that information that we have confirmed with police is there's 8 victims in this situation. 2 have died. 6 are in stable condition at ORMC. Police officers here downtown continue to investigate. We're at the corner of Orange and Jefferson, just a block away from Orange and Washington, where they say this took place. That 17-year-old suspect is in custody, and they are investigating. But for now, reporting live in Orlando, Marley Kapper, Fox 35 News.
Marley, thank you so much for that. Our live team coverage continues this morning.
Amanda McKenzie is live. She's outside Orlando Regional Medical Center right now. Amanda, we know this happened. There was enhanced security. I mean, they're talking 100 officers, including the second shooting. You can see the suspect not far from those flashing lights.
Oh, and we're told that the scene filled with 50 to 100,000 people celebrating Halloween night. And unfortunately, 6 victims of the total 8 are here at Orlando Regional Medical Center being treated for their gunshot wounds when shots were fired just shortly after 1 o'clock this morning. Again, those victims between the ages of 19 and 39 years old. I asked the police chief, were these victims known to the shooter, or was this a random shooting? He says this is all still part of the ongoing investigation. I asked if the victims were cooperating. He said that is still something that is being worked on because this only happened a couple of hours ago. So just a short while ago, these victims were transported here to the emergency room needing help and care and recovery. We're told that they're all in stable condition now. So this is just still an evolving situation as far as what information will come out after this Halloween shooting that broke out in the middle of the night. Fortunately, so many officers were on the scene, over 100 just in the downtown Orlando area. And from the video that we saw, we could see at least 8 officers just swarming in on that suspected shooter within a moment's notice of those gunshots being fired. We spoke with the chief, who had more to say about that officer response. Take a listen.
This is something that we can't do alone. I mean, I could put 200 officers down there, and like you saw in the video, he walked by multiple officers. He didn't really care. So it does start outside of what my job is. It starts, and I don't want to say it starts in the home, but it starts in our community coming together to work together and figure out a better way for people to solve their problems.
And as far as any motive, again, that is under investigation. There is no known motive at this time. They are still piecing together so much of that surveillance video and body camera video, but they said they will be able to track that suspect's every move. They say he really wasn't even in downtown for that long, and that when he walked into that area, he was only wearing a yellow T-shirt, so he wasn't someone who was mixing in with the crowd as part of a Halloween costume or an event. So it is raise a question whether this was something random or on purpose, or it was something that was part of an argument or an altercation. They said that they're all going to piece that together, and they plan to release that surveillance footage to us later this morning so that we can get more of a bigger picture on what happened. As far as those victims, we're still asking for more information on how they're doing. Again, they're stable condition here between the ages of 19 and 39. The 6 victims recovering here, but sadly 2 people lost their lives this night. Reporting live in Orlando, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Amanda, thanks. Sad update. I was just downtown a week ago after the Magic game. Big crowds, big Halloween crowds, and obviously talk about a lot of police presence down there as well. We'll continue to bring you more as we have it.
Let's get right on over now to Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner with a look at our forecast. Brooks.
Good morning. Well, it's 70 degrees right now in downtown. We've got partly cloudy skies. Had a couple of showers earlier overnight rolling through, and right now maybe a sprinkle here on I-4 as you head toward Disney and Celebration. There's a chance for rain today, running at about a 20% shot, but overall look for partly cloudy skies, just a few passing showers from time to time, mostly in our coastal counties. 67 in Titusville right now, 63 degrees in Ocala. So to get you out the door on this November the 1st, we are looking at temperatures that are going to be quite comfortable today, from 68 at 7 up to 79 at 11. I'm forecasting a high today of 83 degrees. Coming up, though, we've got to track the tropics because we've got a pair of disturbances with potential either individually or together to become a tropical system as soon as this weekend, and there may be some rainy impacts now for Florida by the end of next week. Rainy impacts, not necessarily like windy impacts, so that's good news. But I'll show you the latest potential here coming up. But first off, we've got some a brand new incident here in our traffic world. Skyfox Traffic, Deborah Cho, you're tracking some issues on the turnpike.
Yeah, definitely. So this is actually in the Gotha area. So just a heads up this morning, if you're coming southbound, you're going to encounter all of this traffic here. If you're coming in from the Winter Garden area or Ocoee and you're hopping on the turnpike to go south towards I-4, you're going to see a lot of slowdowns this morning. At one point, the entire turnpike was shut down. I am seeing some cars kind of maneuver their way around. You can see a little bit there, but at least in the traffic incidents that I've been reported, it has completely shut down in that spot. So just a heads up this morning, you're going to notice a lot of delays in the Florida, or on the Florida Turnpike, I should say. I-4, though, let's look at our cameras down the Champions Gate area, where it looks like traffic-wise, no issues as of right now. Celebration's looking good. Mall of Millennia and then downtown Orlando. Try to avoid that area, of course, in the downtown part, but at least the interstate-wise, that is all looking good as of right now. So, of course, I'll continue to follow your morning commute today, but I'll send things back to you guys at the desk.
Deb, thanks a lot to get you in sports. Big loss for the Magic as Paulo Banchero is out indefinitely. Let's bring in Orlando Sentinel sports columnist Mike Bianchi. He's the host of Open Mic on FM 96.9 The Game and AM 740. Mike, good morning. Mike, good stuff today. Enjoy the weekend, my friend.
See you guys.
You can listen to Mike's radio show every day, Open Mic, a weekday from 6 to 9 on FM 96.9 The Game and AM 740. 5:39, we continue to follow the news from downtown as well. We will be right back.
For the latest on local and national races, Fox 35 is your home for election 2024.
We do want to welcome you back to Good Day Orlando on a very busy news morning here at 5:43 as we continue to follow breaking news coming out of Orange County. A shooting in downtown Orlando has left 8 people shot, at least 2 were killed, and 6 people are in the hospital right now. We can tell you a 17-year-old suspect is in custody. This, of course, a breaking news story that we will continue to follow and bring you updates all morning long. We have 2 reporters on the scene right now, Marley Capper and Amanda McKenzie. We'll get to them in just a moment, but first, we do want to start with the traffic alert, so let's get right on over to Fox 35's Deborah Cho. Deborah.
Hey, good morning, Danielle. Yeah, so this traffic alert is on the Florida Turnpike as you're coming southbound in the Gotha area. Just as you're passing Winter Garden and Ocoee, you can see some traffic already starting to form this morning as you're approaching that crash. So let me go ahead and show you just what that scene looks like this morning. So here is one of our closest cameras that we got. You can see the crash is off to, looks like the shoulder. Now, from this new camera picture, it does look like, though, they have opened all the lanes on the Florida Turnpike. So that's some good news, because just a little bit ago, completely shut down. So you're just really going to notice a lot of delays this morning on the Florida Turnpike. So here's a detour that you can take. You can get off on 408. You can take the 408 over to Kirkman Road, and then that can take you right back down the Florida Turnpike if you wanted to get a detour this morning. But since it is cleared over to the shoulder, hopefully that won't cause too many extra delays as you're waking up this morning. Luckily, it's still so early in the morning, but I fear those delays will probably start to build up as the morning does continue this morning. Now, as far as your drive times, though, everywhere else, it's looking good. You're in the green all the way across the board. All right, I'll send things over to you, Brooks, with a check of our forecast today.
All right, Deborah, thank you very much. Well, looking outside right now, we've got 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. We've had a couple of showers that have rolled in from the southeast. Our Fox 35 storm tracker radar zooming in on one sprinkle here near Lake Buena Vista in the Disney area, right over East Buena Vista Drive and World Drive. Otherwise, our chance for rain this morning is running at or below 20%, and that'll be the case all day today. A flow from the Atlantic, meaning partly cloudy skies, abundant sunshine, but areas of a couple of sprinkles, really brief sprinkles throughout the day. This according to our exclusive Fox model, profiling our future clouds and radar. Right now it's 60 in Gainesville, 70 in Orlando, 77 degrees at Cocoa Beach. We're on the way today to 82 in Cocoa Beach, about 84 or 85 in Orlando, and 84 in Ocala as well. Daytona Beach, we've got a lot of wave action out there, seas of about 3 to 4 feet, and a high risk for rip currents. So if you're heading to the beaches today, a heads up. And in the tropics, there's a 60% chance of development in this orange area, including the Western Caribbean Sea, and a 10% chance here in the southwestern Atlantic. These two impulses may merge late this weekend and produce a loosely organized low pressure of tropical origin, which could spread some rain into Florida by the end of next week. A system could form this weekend, but nothing imminent at this time, and there are no indications at this time of anything that would be a major threat to Florida. And that's partially because while there's plenty of heat in the ocean here in the Caribbean, now that we're into November, there's comparatively very little in the Gulf of Mexico. So we'd have to have a system that rapidly develops in the Caribbean to then maintain some momentum for it to have any kind of significant impacts into our area. But it looks like it may not get its act together until maybe it enters this cooler water area. That would keep the system weaker as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico, still representing a rain threat. Worst case scenario, maybe a flooding threat, but not so much of a wind issue. Now, our protective dome of high pressure will drift toward the east over the next coming days, and that will allow a brief opening to induce what could be a flow a little bit farther east of the track of whatever may form. That would be a rainy scenario for us late week. Other models persist that it'll track into the western Gulf of Mexico, largely sparing our area of any direct impacts. The GFS American model has been all over the place, and these models will be all over the place until something actually forms. It's impossible to track something that doesn't yet exist and then go as far as saying where it will go. But if this forms where the GFS thinks it'll form and it tracks where it thinks it'll track, the two impulses will kind of merge near the western tip of Cuba and could bring some rain into Florida for the end of next week. Speaking of the changes ahead, we've got a fallback, the time change, daylight saving time ending this weekend. So we go from a 6:40 sunset today to a 5:38 p.m. sunset by Sunday. All right, here's my 7-day forecast. 85 degrees today, 20% chance for rain. Tomorrow there's a slightly higher chance for rain, a 40% chance. Our fallback begins at 2 a.m. on Sunday, and then looking ahead to election day, about a 30% chance for some passing showers. Any of that tropical moisture may arrive late next week, so I've represented that by a 50% chance for rain on Thursday. Well, we've got a lot of sunshine ahead and some warm days, and so no doubt everything out there will start to bloom. And in today's Garner's Garden, Kara Hudnall of Melbourne Shores in Brevard County sitting in this beautiful hibiscus. Interesting flower. It's orange, but there's one pink petal. Hey, you never know the magic you'll discover in your garden. And Florida is a natural greenhouse. That's why we do Garner's Garden. I love gardening. All right, I'd love to feature your photos. Go to fox35orlando.com/garden to upload them, and we'll feature them here on Good Day Orlando. Okay, that is the latest. Ryan and Danielle, back to you.
Brooks, thank you so much for that. We're now at 5:49. Residents in St. Petersburg are making the best out of their situations and hurricane debris by celebrating Halloween the only way they can. Jack-o'-lantern, pumpkin piles, ghostly garbage. So they kind of changed the name there, right, to kind of correspond with, unfortunately, what they're going through, all piled up in the neighborhood. Almost every home there is flooded. But some people stepped in to bring the spooky spirit in a creative way.
It's an awesome aspect of just bringing community together in a time that's probably one of the most difficult times that people are actually going to go through.
Thorne came up with this idea, and he also helps by making 3 meals a day for his neighbors. He's done this for over a month now.
And it is official, winter has arrived in Hawaii. Believe it or not, the Big Island actually got some snow in the summit of Mauna Kea as well. It is the highest point on the island, 14,000 feet. The National Weather Service saying Hawaii's winter season starts in October to actually last through April. Don't see that very often for sure, but that's a different part of Hawaii. All right, coming up, is it time for a little social media detox? You may want to take a break after you see people scrolling every year. We're going to tell you about the Not So November that they're talking about. You're watching Good Day Orlando this morning.
You're also watching a breaking news story that we've been following for you all morning long, coming out of Orange County, where a shooting has happened in downtown Orlando, and it has left 8 people shot, at least 2 killed. A 17-year-old suspect is in custody. We, of course, will continue to bring you live updates all morning long on this story. Again, we're 10 minutes before the 6 o'clock hour, and we will be right back.
Today's Weather Baby is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Now, we can't confirm this exactly, but Dracula possibly made a stop in Brevard County this Halloween. All right, so not exactly, but a rare bat did. Take a look at this little lady. We have bats in Florida, of course, but this is a silver-haired bat, which are not native. They live in other states and Canada. She was rescued from a condo in Satellite Beach. The little bat was pretty tired and underweight, but now she is getting all the help she needs to recover. Rescuers say this is the first silver-haired bat sighting on the Space Coast.
Could potentially be the first reported silver-haired bat in Peninsula, Florida. It was this really incredible experience to have during Bat Week and right before Halloween.
And Wild Florida Rescue thinks the bat could have been brought in from the hurricanes and thrown off course migrating. Right now, Jenny White is working with other bat specialists to figure out where she'll go when she is feeling better. And the babies in the Orlando Health NICU, as they do every year, look at this. They were spotted wearing their first Halloween costumes. You can see princesses and a ladybug, a Ninja Turtle, Elvis, and so many other cute costumes. My goodness. And look at that little
so
Ninja
cute.
Turtle
Had the Cookie
there.
Monster, Ninja Turtle, salt and pepper shakers.
I think that is adorable. Look at the little blue Crayola
Probably
crayon.
only Halloween they won't get candy yet.
No, exactly.
What a special way to bring somebody into the world.
What a great memory
for sure.
for their parents,
Absolutely.
too.
Well, could you stay off of social media for an entire month? There is a new movement encouraging people to disconnect now. It's called Not So November. The goal is to fully or partially unplug from social media for the month. By the way, a recent study found the average American spends about 36 days a year scrolling through social media on their devices. And that's why I think it's good to have that reminder from your phone how long you've been on it, because it kind of puts into perspective.
I'm sometimes appalled at that
that
number.
maybe a third of your day is spent on that phone.
Right?
All right, much more still ahead this morning on Fox 35.
Good Day Orlando at 6 o'clock starts right after this short break.